In continuing our coverage of the race for Harris County Judge, we welcome Marty Lancton, the president of Houston Professional Firefighters Association and candidate for Harris County Judge. Marty, welcome to Hello Houston.
Thank you so much for having me. I love the new studio. I haven't been back since it's been remodeled, so it looks amazing.
Yes, and if you would like to join the conversation, you can give us a call or send us a text at 713-440-8870. Our new studio is definitely a vibe, Marty.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Okay, Marty, we'll start you right off here at the obvious first question. Sure. Is Harris County ripe and ready for a Republican county judge?
I think Harris County has been ripe and ready for common sense to reign over the county judge position for a very long time, since Judge Ed Emmett left. And it absolutely is. I think what people are looking for is people that have relationships that can get the resources to Harris County. We understand better than anybody the partisan politics of the day. But the reality is that the role of the county judge is to get the resources to the people that we swore an oath to protect. And that is what I will do as Harris County Judge. If you are constantly fighting with your partners on the regional level and the state level, that means resources can't get to Harris County. That is precisely why I am proud that Governor Greg Abbott has endorsed me. And that means there's trust in a relationship that is built. I think the Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows, who is a good friend who has endorsed my campaign as well, has said it best when he came down. He said 40% of the issues that they deal with at the legislature are because of the things going on in Harris County. That's a problem. And while we're focused on all of the noise, the people that we're supposed to be taking care of aren't being taken care of. Flooding isn't getting taken care of. Crime and public safety isn't getting taken care of. Infrastructure isn't getting taken care of. And something that nobody talks about in this race, but I will, and that's the need for good paying jobs. We have port expansion going on. We have a number of things in the last 3 decades. We were told, the only path is to go to college. We need good trade, blue-collar worker jobs. We don't have enough people to fill them. And when people are making the money that they need to take care of their families, they're here in Harris County to be a part of this amazing county that is resilient in every way.
Just as a button on this, what we're talking about, we know the governor has said he wanted to turn the Harris County deep red. Mm-hmm. Are you a pivotal point in helping make that happen?
Well, I think if you've looked at the policies that have been enacted for years, and my question to people is the flooding and the infrastructure, has it gotten better for you and your families? No, it hasn't. Have your taxes gone up and not down? Yes, they have. And the reality is that the quality of life that people deserve is that a transparent government is here, and that you build the trust within the community. Because dealing with the issues that I had to deal with firefighters for nearly a decade, people told me that it couldn't be done. You can't pay your first responders. A $7 billion budget, they were saying we were broke, and guess what? They weren't. I had to go take on the establishment and the system. And what I can tell you is that it's going to take all of us coming together to fix these problems, but it starts with being honest and transparent with people. And so the answer to your question is that the governor has made it clear. Instead of you have a county leadership that all they do is virtue signal and yell and scream and get into fights that have nothing to do with the role of county government while resources are not being funded. So the distrust between local county officials and the state doesn't serve Harris County residents. And so when you're working with your partners to provide the resources, and I'll give you an example of why this matters. When Hurricane Harvey hit and you had then Land Commissioner George P. Bush gave $0 for flood mitigation afterwards. Now, I was here in the thick of it, and if you were Republican or Democrat, I can tell you everybody said that is wholly inappropriate and not okay. When the now commissioner, Dr. Dawn Buckingham, when she was elected during her transition period, appointed me to her transition team. And the number one thing I said and advocated for is we have to repair the relationship at Harris County. We've got to get the resources where they need to go in spite of all the differences. Within 90 days, our land commissioner, Dr. Dawn Buckingham, got $800 million in flood mitigation dollars to Harris County, to the flood control district. That is what the power of the Harris County judge can be at a level that people have not seen, working together to get the resources we need.
You are listening to Hello Houston. We are speaking to Marty Lancton, the president of the Houston Professional Firefighters Association and candidate for Harris County Judge. We do have quite a few calls, so if you want to put your headphones on coming through. Before we get to those, Marty, I do have a question for you. Today we just heard from the newly appointed interim Harris County attorney, Jonathan Fonbon. He was discussing the size of Harris County and how the governor has been talking about, threatening taking over Harris County elections. If elected to be the Harris County judge, what are you going to prioritize and how are you going to get alignment from our county commissioners to achieve this? And then we will grab those calls after this comment.
How much time do you have? I mean, the simplistic reality is that you have to start with building trust within the community and elected leaders, even people that don't agree with your positions. There has to be a level of trust involved. Crime and public safety is the number one priority. That is why I'm proud to be endorsed by the Houston Police Officers Union, the Harris County Deputies Organization, the Metro Police, and so many more that protect our great county and city. But we have to be talking. We have to be working together. And when you have distrust, the easiest thing in politics is for somebody to say it's their problem, it's their fault, and nothing ever gets solved. You've got to get the people that are in the room that are focused on the strategies of fixing the county government. We are spending money where it does not need to go. We are spending it on things that are not the requirement of county government. And because of that, we have failed projects. We don't have shovels in the ground for infrastructure. We are not addressing the flooding, and that doesn't help anybody.
Mm-hmm. And again, 713-440-8870. You can join the conversation if you have a comment or question for Harris County Judge candidate Marty Lancton. Again, 713-440-8870. Let's go to Alejandra from Montrose, or Alexandra. Welcome to Hello Houston. What is your comment or question?
Hi, my question for Marty is, if you could sum up your leadership style in a sentence or two, what would it be?
Well, thank you. Is it Alexandra? Is that?
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Very simple. My leadership style is being effective. If we are not effective in what it is that we do, and we can't show the results to the people that we represent, then all we are talking about is noise.
Mm-hmm. And I do have a question. Oftentimes, being effective sounds great, but it also comes with a price. And one of the issues that we see in Harris County is our budget. How do you plan to be fiscally responsible with Harris County tax dollars as well as being effective?
Well, here's the good news is that having the experience of taking on a corrupt administration that attacked the firefighters with a $7 billion budget, nearly $7 billion, saying that there was no money, facts matter. And so people are allowed to have their own opinions, but at the end of the day, the facts have to reign. And when you look at the way that the budgeting is done, you look at all the other entities in the county, you look at all the surplus money in certain places, you look at the non-transparency in others, it starts with a simple message. Your tax money should be responsible to you. We have to be very transparent and open up the books. We cannot play the game where everybody is in their silo and nobody's talking. I was up at the legislature last year, and I not only advocated but testified to a bill that simply would allow Harris County residents to know where the $300 to $400 million excess toll road money is going. Mm-hmm. Now, why would anybody have a problem with that? That's the question that I have for your listeners.
Let me ask a quick question, then I want to get back to the phones. A few minutes ago, you listed a bunch of topics that you said aren't getting taken care of.
Yes.
In your opinion, why are they not getting taken care of? Is it a lack of leadership? Is it a lack of ability? Was it a lack of focus? Was it infighting? Why? Because we've had lots of candidates who here, they all can kind of point to the exact same problems and issues we face. Why hasn't it been taken care of, do you think?
Well, I think all of the above. And I think what really happens, and if you want my honest opinion, because I'm a pretty straight shooter, those that have known me for a very long time, I think the truth matters in the end always, and the right thing does matter. But when you have people in this large of a county, the news cycle is so fast. And by the time you start understanding one piece of a budget or a project, and you get invested in it, you get confused. And then by the time you figure out that the equation that they're giving you is 2 + 2 = 5, and you're saying, well, that's not right. Well, good people want to see first, am I missing something? And by the time you get down and waste all of your time to realize that the way that it was presented was not only intentionally misleading, but it was intended for another purpose. So how do you solve problems when you can't have an honest, direct dialogue with people? That means that you call a ball and a strike, but you don't get to hide the ball. And that's precisely what we have seen, and that's precisely the way that the system has been set up. When you have quasi-governmental entities, you have HECTRA, you've got all these different organizations and all these different entities that either get appointed by politicians, so then they pass the buck and say it's them, but they're the ones that have statutory control over them. Then who is responsible? The buck has to stop somewhere, and the buck is going to stop with me as the Harris County judge in my administration. We do not tolerate people that are using your tax dollars or using their own personal interest and purposes to do things that are not in the interest of Harris County taxpayers.
We're speaking with Marty Lancton, who is running as in the primary for Republicans for Harris County Judge. Let's go back to the phones. It's 713-440-8870. Joe, you're on the line. What's your question, comment?
Thanks for taking my question. Marty, you've talked about restoring trust in county government. Can you give a concrete example of what you would change right away as county judge?
I think I missed the first part. Did y'all? What was the?
You've spoken of restoring faith trust in county government.
In county government, what would be the first thing that you would change?
On day one, we're going to do an audit of every department. You've got to start. You have to build the trust, and why is more critically important to build trust within Harris County residents is because one of the key roles of Harris County judges to be the person that is in charge that families and people in Harris County look to during disasters. Mm-hmm. We cannot allow and afford to have a Harris County judge that is getting into an argument and a fight with the largest city in the county during a natural disaster. That absolutely is something that you're taught when it comes to dealing with emergencies. You have to be the adult and the calm one in the room. And regardless of your own feelings, it's not about you. It is about the safety of everybody else. So you have to have those pieces in place. Otherwise, when you're telling people, here is a storm coming, here is a disaster that's coming, they have to trust the person at the helm is telling you the truth.
Do you want to do the audit because you believe that there has been misappropriations, or is it more of a symbol to show what you would do in office?
No, I absolutely believe that there is money that is being spent by Harris County Commissioners Court that should not be spent in places, whether statutorily or the public is not aware of where those funds are actually going. For an example, going back to the HECTRA bill, Harris County Commissioners Court, I said, well, who controls the money? Well, they gavel out as the Harris County Commissioners Court. They gavel back in as the Board of Directors for HECTRA. And then they divide up the money. And the question I have is, does anybody know specifically where all that money is going? That's a problem. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have a question. And I started this, over a decade ago when I came in as the president and I looked at the budget and I said, what am I missing? And I realized that the game that gets played in government is all the moving around and shuffling to where you can never get a direct answer for a question. And that actually goes to where you can't have the infrastructure jobs. Think about all of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and that if you can cut down on duplication of services, how many more projects can we get built and how many more residents can we then take care of? That's where I come from. I am not a career politician. I am somebody with a career that has taken on not only an establishment in the city that said, don't look over here. You can't look underneath the hood. In fact, the mayors repeatedly, and a lot of them weren't shy about it, said, I'm only here for a short amount of time and I'm not going to fix the systemic problems because I'm not going to be here to see it get fixed. I have a problem with that. This isn't about one person. This is about leaving Harris County better. And this is about taking the next generation to do bold and great things that actually people can look at and take with them.
And again, 713-440-8870. We do have a few calls waiting. Let's go to Mary from Spring Branch. Mary, what is your comment or question for Marty?
Hi, I just wanted to ask about Governor Abbott's endorsement of Marty. I want to know, how do you think that will help Harris County if you're elected?
Well, thank you, Mary. The reality is cut all the politics and the political rhetoric, because as you pointed out, everybody that comes on either listens to somebody else and what their rhetoric is, and they parrot it, and they don't actually know what it means. if you actually want to be effective and get things done, you have to get into a room. I don't run away from complex problems. I run towards them because they have to be fixed. And with that, when you have statewide leadership that needs to instill trust that when we're getting resources that they're going where they're supposed to go, that is so critical to the role of not only Harris County Judge, but to the residents of Harris County. Imagine a world where there is not only the trust that comes with keeping your word, but your actions and what you have done to take care of the people you're supposed to take care of. Imagine what we can do in Harris County when we're not arguing about things that have nothing to do with Harris County government. And all it does is cause people to go in the corners. And because of that, the resources don't come here.
713-440-8870. We're speaking with Marty Lancton, who's candidate for Harris County Judge. Bob from Timber Grove Manor, you're up next. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Marty, what impact do you think this county judge can have on the wasteful spending by individual commissioners? And as an example, 2 or 3 of them have been really good about sending out 12 to 14-page full-color brochures, i.e. report. And at least one had several highway billboards lauding their performance. How do you feel about that?
Well, the good news about having an understanding of how government works at every level is because I've been there. I have passed bills in the legislature unanimously. Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, the Speaker of the House, and all of the members that we work with. I can tell you that if you know how to get the resources and the funding where it's supposed to go with direct allocations and strings, meaning if I give you $100 to say we need to get this pothole fixed, there shouldn't be, that $100 shouldn't go anywhere else. So there are ways to do things that get the resources to where they need to go, provide transparency to the taxpayers, and cut out the nonsense. I don't have time for it. And those that have known me over the years, listen, when I took on the establishment, they come out of the woodworks and they try to do everything possible to destroy you because bad people don't want good things to happen. Because the way that things were going, it was fine for some or a few, but it wasn't good for the many. And the way I not only lead, but the way that I believe government should work is have honest dialogues, get everybody in the room. I'm not afraid to go have conversations with people who disagree with me. In fact, I invite them to the table because eventually, if you leave people out, that's where all the rhetoric comes from. And sometimes in politics, I know this is shocking to hear, the world is not absolute. We've gotten to this world where if I don't parrot something and I don't do something absolute and then I say everything about me and what I did was right, that is not how the real world works or how you work through complex problems. I spent 8 years of my life defending the bravest men and women I had the honor of representing. And I said, we know it's bad. And people said, what are you going to do? I said, what are you willing to do? Mm-hmm. And what I was willing to do is to make sure that I left nothing on the table. And that's what it takes to make these changes. But it can happen, and it does happen for people that aren't bought and sold, that aren't parroting things that they think people want to hear. They want honest government, and it's time for that to be back in Harris County. Time for us to be off the front page, and it's time for us to be focused on the great aspects of Harris County because I tell people publicly, in spite of the dysfunction in county government, we have the most amazing county, the economic engine of Texas in the port. We have all these amazing business owners, all these amazing people that make Harris County what it is, in spite of the way that government doesn't work. Permitting, don't get me started on that. That is absolutely atrocious. If we have people and we're attracting businesses and jobs to Harris County, we need to do everything possible to streamline projects so that we're helping people who are wanting to invest in our communities.
Marty Lancton is president of the Houston Professional Firefighters Association and a candidate for Harris County Judge. Marty, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thank you all very much. I really enjoyed it. Anytime.